How you doing? It's Kwai here. In this video I'm going to give you a book review called Instant Leads. This is by a man named Brad Sugars. I had the privilege to interview Mr. Brad Sugars. He is a icon in the business industry. He is the founder of Action Coaching, and he has written several books on how to grow a business. So he's an absolute legend. And I actually interviewed him last year, and it was one of the most fun interviews I ever done on my podcast, because this guy's really cool. He's really cool. He owns over 100 businesses around the world, and he has a step formula in which you can grow your business. So he calls it the business chassis. And it basically what it is that you need to generate. Obviously, this is the book that generates the leads, but then you need to know your conversion rate, increase your transactions, and so forth. So it's actually applicable. So his formula is, you can actually take the formula and apply it into your own business. And I'm actually applying it into my own sales and marketing techniques too. So anyway, this book, Instant Leads, the keys to multiplying your business profits. Now, this book, look at it, it's very old. I bought this book about 15 years ago, and I've been reading books obviously for a long time. So I've been reading this book for a long time, and obviously if you go to the bookstore, you won't find this book anywhere. This is an old book, finished. It's a vintage book, but the other books out there, it's a different color, so you won't see this, but this is a very vintage book. But yeah, Instant Leads. So this initially talks about how there's a story about this guy who goes into a automotive business, and there's the owner of the business is struggling, doesn't know what to do, and then Brad Sugars teaches the person how to grow that business through increasing the leads. So basically what you do, I'll cover some of the contents in the book, but so I was talking about the business chassis. So the business chassis, it looks like this. I don't know whether you can see it, right? So it's a formula right there. So business chassis is that you need leads. Leads is prospects or potential customers times the conversion rate. So conversion rate is the difference between what could have bought and those that they did. So your conversion rate could be 10%, 20%, equals the amount of customers. So that how many customers do you get from your leads times your conversion rate? And then now each of your customers times by the transactions. So how many times can your customers buy from you? Can it buy once, twice, 3 times? Times by the average sale price. So how much are they purchasing? Is $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, equals the total turnover. So that means that how much money you're going to make, and then also times by your margins. So I don't know what your margins are. It could be 80%, it could be 70%, whatever it is, equals profit. So therefore that's your profit. So that's essentially is the business chassis. But you might notice that at the top there is leads. Okay, so this book will solve that problem, how to get leads. If you don't have leads, then you can't get any profits, plain and simple. So let's get to the strategy part, shall we? So let's have a look at it. So part 1 is classified advertising. So you can actually advertise, as you know, through the classified ads. Advertise through classified advertising. You know this. You know the newspapers and so forth. I haven't had that much luck in advertising on newspapers, but I must say that advertising, it does work on other medias for me anyway, like such as Facebook. I've advertised on Facebook, it does work. You can advertise on radio campaigns, yellow pages, you can do strategic alliances, referral strategies as well. You're writing killer headlines. So Brad Sugars talks about when you're writing an ad, you got to have a headline that is really, it has a very powerful hook that really works. Because I remember I did a lot of study into this, and the headline really, it holds everything together. If you don't have a powerful headline, then your whole ad may fail, because the headline really grabs attention. And I've tested this with my YouTube channel as well. I've created some really powerful headlines for my YouTube videos, and those really good headlines really get a lot of clicks. So it does work. You gotta have a really powerful headline. Create powerful offers. Make sure the offer is very powerful. I won't get into so much detail. There's just so much detail in this, right? But these are some of the concepts that he talks about. Some parts, I must admit, because this book is rather old, some of it is a bit outdated, and I don't know about the new book. It's probably got some new content in the new book, but you might want to check it out. So here's an example of an ad that you can place. It's got the headline, and you can put this onto the newspapers as well. So you can send these ones out. It's really, it talks about how you can position your advertisement. So you got the headline there, you got the content, you put your logo on the right hand side, photo, and you got the call to action, which is your phone number at the bottom. So you wouldn't believe, but a lot of ads forget to put their call to action, and if they do, it's really small. It's like they're really shy to advertise. But this is sales, guys. This is sales. You have to read in your face, you know. And here's another example of how, you know, look at the headline, how you can slash. So read the headline. You can slash up to 8 years and 65,000 dollars off your mortgage. Well, you know, it's a powerful headline there. I'll be interested. You know, $65,000 off a mortgage. How good is that? And yeah, so there's a lot of different ways in which you can generate leads. I was also reading another book by Adam Koo, and Adam Koo talks about you can have about 100 lead sources. So there is no shortage of leads. You know, you can get leads everywhere. And basically, the whole, if there was one thing you want to take away from this book, is that leads is everything. You need to generate leads, and you need to look at your business as that you run the business, not the business doesn't run you. So therefore, you need to be putting in systems in place that will generate leads. So some of the examples, as we just mentioned, you know, you want to be busy setting up lead generation through radio advertising, set up lead generation through classifieds, find leads through Facebook, find leads through outbound, through cold calling. There's leads everywhere, and that's what you do. So, for example, when I started this other company a few years ago, I started there, I worked there, and they needed me to set up all these lead generation strategies. The first week I set up outbound and set up cold calling, so I get leads there. And then in the second week I set up opt-in forms, so I set up landing pages on their website. The third one I set up Facebook advertising. The fifth one I set up articles. So I just kept adding all these lead generation strategies. And each of those strategies, you might be able to get one lead through one strategy, but if you add them all up, you could be getting, you know, 10 leads a week. You know, 10 leads multiplied by a conversion rate of 10%, that's one deal a week. If one deal is costing, if you make $100,000 or $10,000 through 1 week, or through one lead, through the 10 lead generation efforts that you make, that's friggin' like, you know, 40 grand a month. You know, that's a lot of money. So Instant Leads by Brad Sugars. He's got some other books such as Instant Sales, or it's like 8 books that he's got there. But this is one of the first books that you should definitely check out. So yeah, highly recommend for you to check out Brad Sugars. He's the man. And if you want, you can check out my interview that I did with him on, you know, thriving during a pandemic and also in your business at the moment too. So anyway, check out the book, Instant Leads. There you go. Cheers.